Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm Nicholas here. Today we are looking at 3 different designs of acoustic panels and we start with this one. This is a design that I got from a course called Build a Better Bass Trap. This is a course made by a guy called Jesko Lohan and he has a YouTube channel called Acoustics Insider. So I was earlier in this practice space where we had some fabrics on the wall and we also had some fiberglass sheets here on the walls. They were starting to get old and tear up. So I was just curious to find some way to make clean acoustic panels, so I found the Acoustics Insider. That YouTube channel showed me about the Build a Better Bass Trap course, and inside you have a very good guide to how to build your own bass traps and acoustic panels basically. This is the basic design that is inside the Build a Better Bass Trap course. And I made a video from that build, so let's look at that one. The materials is spruce or pine. Here you can see I'm using a saw guide. I found a guy on YouTube that is a Swedish guy. He made this saw guide video and eventually I ordered one from him and I used it in the process and it was a very good one. Also in the course I got a guide on how to make this drill guide. A lot of guides here, and the guide helps you drill straight holes and you have the placement right every time. On the back we have these support beams, making it more stable and sturdy. Then in the front of the panel we have this wooden frame and that is used to attach the fabric on. Here I had some Gambian style wax print fabric. I thought it was very nice. Maybe a little bit busy. If you like a more sober look, then choose a plain color fabric. But I thought the end result was very nice. Then we can look at this next one. This is the DIY Billy bookshelf version that I made myself. I thought I would like to practice on some cheap materials, so I looked up this website in Sweden that's called Blocket, where you can find all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I can show you here. This is like Craigslist but in Sweden. So for example here we have the same kind of size Billy bookshelf that I used. It's for free here, and this too is for free. It's the same size. The measurements of these Billy bookshelves are as follow. So they are 2 meters 2 centimeters high. The outer width is 60 centimeters, inner width is 56.5 centimeters, and the depth is 28 centimeters. And why I chose this Billy bookshelf was because I saw that the rock wool that I was planning to use had a very similar fit. It was 58 centimeters wide, so I thought will be a very snug fit into the 56.5 centimeter inner width. And I can show you the rock wool that I got. This is the 95 millimeter thick, and here you can see it's 58 centimeters thick. And I also used the 70 millimeters thick, and it also 58 centimeters wide. So how did I build these ones? Here you can see the Billy bookshelf, and here I cut it in half. You can see in this picture I put a shelf here and made some holes and drilled it in here, and that's why you get kind of 4 panels from 2 bookshelves. Then we have the wooden frame in the front, and that's used to put the fabric on. Here I'm staple gunning the fabric there, and here it's ready. Here I'm just making some holes in the side so I can press it down and make it a flush surface on the acoustic panel. So that is how this version is built. Then we have, of course, here these supporting beams on the back, making it more sturdy. Then also I wrap the rock wool in a thin plastic foil or sheet that prevents fiber flight of the rock wool. And sometimes you get questions about if that reflects sound, and it sure does. It's a very small effect since you put the fabric in the front. The effect is very small on the higher frequencies. So here's some pros and cons of working with this material, which is particle board. Particle board is very heavy. It's made out of glued sawdust basically, and also it's not that nice to inhale the dust from it. The other con of this material, the particle board, is that it's quite easily ripping and tearing when you are cutting it. Then we have the pros of this material. So first of all, it's very cheap. As I already showed you, you can get it for free or very cheap. Pro number 2 is that it has a very nice fit with the rock wool that I used, and since the rock wool was 58 centimeters wide and the inner width is 56.5, it was very snug fitting inside here. Then lastly, I will look at the depth of the rock wool I used. So in the upper one, I had 95 millimeters plus 70 millimeters, total of 16.5 centimeters. And in the bottom one, I used double 7 centimeter depth and 195 millimeters. So that's a total of 23.5 centimeters. That was just because I had some extra and I tried to use that one too. Let's look at a short video of the DIY Billy bookshelf version. So here it comes. So here I'm making the wooden frame, cutting the fabric, then stapling with the electric staple gun, cutting the fabric more, and there it's done. Here I'm cutting the rock wool. I had to make a custom fit because the height of the shells were not the same as the original size. Putting the plastic foil on here. And lastly, putting the fabric front in the front of the acoustic panel. I made a total of 4 of these, and I think they ended up quite nice. If you wonder how I made the front frame, it's made out of these slats, wooden slats. It's from this thing that, at least here in the Nordics, you use for roofing, and it's quite cheap. Well, let's look at the last design. This is a mix of different designs. I was looking at a acoustic company from Germany called Kiss Your Ears. They made a bass trap, I think it was called King Kong something, I don't know. Anyway, it makes more lightweight panel because it's made out of these wooden slats. It uses much less material, and that makes it much more lightweight. It's a little bit more complex to make. You have more parts, you have to make much more cuts and so. So how I made my own design of this is that I saw this YouTube video how to make a very simple wooden frame. So I made this kind of design. It has some support beams here. This is how it looks in the back. And you can see it has this kind of carrying beam here. Then you have fabric stapled to the back side. And in the front you have this diffuser front. And that's something I also got from the Build a Better Bass Trap course, where there is a version that is put inside the frame, but I made a version that is kind of hanging on the edge of the panel. And this is how they look. With the front on. And here you can see how the front is removed, since it's only hanging on the edge of the panel. And I think that's all for these acoustic panels I made. I can really recommend the Acoustics Insider course, Build a Better Bass Trap. For example, here he's showing the design. It's joint glued boards, and I really like the design of that wooden look. I can end with showing some interesting designs. Here we have the Kiss Your Ears version. This is the same, and this is how he made some different kind of arrangement there. This is another kind of inspiration for the frame I made. This is the YouTube video, simple wooden frame. Here's some other designs. Here is like a diffuser front face. In this one, somebody made a diffuser front, but also made like a moving one. These are the bass traps from Kiss Your Ears. Here we have a moving gobo. And this is kind of the designs that you can expect from the Build a Better Bass Trap course. This is how it looks. So you have these diffuser fronts in the side, and then without diffusion in the roof and in the front. This is, I think this was an Italian guy who made this video, where he made the build all by himself with the help of the guides from the course, of course. This is the studio Jesco works in. Here's some more from the other studio. And I really like the design. It almost looked like some art. And yeah, Here's actually another type of bass traps you could use. This is like a material that is made from recycled plastic. It's like a fleece kind of material. This is the same. And here's some guy that made a wall, just testing out the effect of it. And here is the Jesco Lohan model again. And here's my bass traps. I actually ended up selling all of the panels because the practice space I was in didn't continue, so I ended up selling all of them. And that's all for this video. If you liked the information here or had any questions, just write in the comments, and let's see you in the next one. Bye.